Fire away, everybody. It's good to see you, by the way, all seriousness.
Chris, there's been a rotation with your field goal kickers the last couple of days. What have you seen with that, and what do you like about doing it that way?
I like doing the on-off. I think it keeps a fresh leg for each guy. Plus, it kind of goes back to a few years ago when we said it's their day. But at the same time, it also provides us, if we have a team period, a situational thing, and we need to have a field goal, we always have a guy up, ready to go. So allows for practice to run smoothly. But both guys have been hitting the ball really well, and I mean it's nice to have. It's nice to see them making kicks. Everybody right now, anybody that wants to come back there and go. We have a host of guys, but we're still. I mean, that's going to be a work in progress. But I like some of the guys that we have. I think that once we get into the preseason games, I'll have better answers for you then.
With Khalil Herbert, what did you see on his kick return tape from Virginia Tech, and what are you eager to assess in this setting?
I saw a good football player. I think one of the things that when you're talking about really when you say 53, then you get it down to 48 on game day, which is really where I'm concerned about. Having guys that can play more than one position, and when you talk about a returner that can also cover, that does take some of the load off of other areas. So I do think he's a guy that's obviously he's a good running back, built real well, and he's learning how to play special teams. Once again, preseason will be big for him, and we'll see. The tape will tell us what to do.
How big was it for you to have the three main guys in your field goal operation all to be re-signed?
Really, really big. I think it's the first time since I've been here that we had all three guys. And what was really nice day one, we just kind of dusted the table off a little bit and just started moving real quickly and just refreshed everyone again. Hey, how do you like the lean of the ball? What are we going to do here and all that? And it just came naturally to the guys. And then you can pick up and move more quickly. So I'm fired up about that.
Last year was probably the best season for a kicker ever here, at least statistically. I'm going to guess that you think that the other two guys don't get as much credit as maybe they deserve for that.
Well, I think probably that's what fans talk about, but they're a huge part of it. I mean, just from the simple things. When Cairo, I know we attempted a 58-yarder the other day into the wind in the situation, and just the lean of the ball that Pat gives it just to pick up a few more yards, things like that people don't talk about, or just the movement of the laces to help fight the wind as the ball's going through and the ball can stay straighter. Those guys, they're huge, and the way Scalesy snaps, it all starts with him. It's just it's been a smooth operation. We're still working out a few kinks right now, but that should be expected this time of year.
Do you think that you'll have Tariq as an option at punt returner at some point, and who will you look at there?
I think with regards to, I can't answer any of those. Those are injury questions. Those are a coach. But we're just working everybody. And obviously he's a great player. And obviously when he was our punt returner, he was dynamic. So just hoping for a speedy recovery for him.
When a kicker like Santos has kind of had his ups and downs in the league, some of it injury related, and then he finds it like he did last year. What's the key from a coaching standpoint to maintaining that? Because you can go.
I think you don't look at the past. He did a nice job last year, and you guys didn't get to talk about the kicker, so I think that's good. But I mean, it's a new year, so for us, it's just starting the process all over and respecting the process. And I know that's very cliche-ish and all those things, but I really believe that deep down in my heart. If he doesn't follow the process of how we take our steps, how we line up, where are we playing the ball at, what's the lean for Pat O'Donnell to make sure that is it left to right, right to left. I mean, all those things are important. We still have to go through that. We don't miss kicks and say, oh, well, I made that last year. So last year was last year, this year is this year, and now what you want to do as a kicker, I mean, great ones when you have a great year, the previous year, if you can stack them, can you stack them? And the only way to stack things is to go through the daily grind and the daily process and respect that process. And when you do that, you give yourself a chance.
As a manager, do you feel like there's such a mental component that you either have to just let him do his thing, or how do you handle it? How do you handle him? And maybe by not just doing anything, I don't know, maybe.
No, we watch film. We have things. We have daily drills that we do. We call them core tenets that we're always going to go back to, and we're going to do those things on a daily basis because that's part of the process. Cairo's as normal guy as you're going to meet. He's mentally strong. I don't worry about any of those things. So it's just about getting better each day.
Chris, can Riley really help you?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I mean, I'll be honest with you. As we told all the guys in our first special teams meeting, I mean, there's 90 here. It's going to get down to 53. Obviously, not everyone in the room is going to make the team. But our goal in our room is, if you don't make our ball squad, we want you to make someone else's ball squad. So with that, yes, I believe that every guy, and I know every guy has a chance in our room. And that's how it's supposed to be. And I never single out a guy. You guys know that. But yeah, he played for me in the playoff game. Did a nice job. So he has tape, visual evidence that he can do it. So.
Chris, what does he need to do to be a guy that earns his spot?
Well, that's a tough question that I wouldn't discuss in public. To be honest with you, I think he just has to compete at a high level, just like any other player, and be productive. You know, I mean, there is a difference between production and performance and potential and all those things. I mean, people can have all the potential in the world, but how do you produce? How do you perform? That's what I care about. And preseason games, I'm glad we have preseason games this year. That'll tell a lot of the story.
Cordero and Sherrick moving on, who are some of the guys that have been here that you're leaning on for leadership on special teams?
Oh, we have a good core on the inside. I mean, there's some guys. We lost some guys, but every year's new in the NFL, and that's part of the NFL. But DHC is a guy that I've always said. I mean, he's the straw that stirs the drink, and does a lot of things behind the scenes for us. I mean, my linebackers are back, Iggy and Woodsy, Jonesy. That I wasn't here the first time he was here, but he's jumped right in, and I love how he approaches special teams. Damian Williams, the way he approaches special teams. He was trained in Kansas City. He does a great job. We have a great core. I love being around them. They're fun to coach, but. Our job right now is to define who all those guys are going to be and then mesh them together to be a cohesive unit.
Why is DHC so valuable? What are some of the things that he does? You're talking about like on and off the field, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, just a lot of things behind the scenes that he does. He's one of the most intelligent football players I've been around. I mean, he plays our personal protector for us and does a great job. I haven't had, to be honest with you, a personal protector like him since I was in Cleveland. I had Jimmy Leonard, obviously, who's the D coordinator in Wisconsin. I mean, DHC sees things and has ideas and studies tape, and he's just a true pro's pro, and I rely on that. I mean, you get good information from what he tells you.
Number one, first of all, Chris Bryant to the Giants, apparently.
Okay.
Number two, we heard you today say I wouldn't take you to Six Flags with me. What in the world does that mean?
Oh, we were doing a drill, and the guys were just a little close. I mean, we had some safety issues there. I mean, it's keep your hands and feet inside the ride at all times.
Also, having to notice you shading over towards the defensive side a little bit today. They're having a nice practice. Is that what you usually do? You just
Sometimes it could be a barometer. I like to be on both sides. I'm Switzerland. I am neutral. Those guys on both sides are all my guys. Thanks, guys.